Hello and welcome back to my After Hours TBR. This is the 1st of 2025. We are doing my January TBR and I'm really excited about it. I'm just really excited about it because I haven't filmed anything in ages. This is the first thing I've filmed in months and I'm really excited about it because I keep saying that, so that should be evident. After Hours works by me playing a virtual game where the stuff is all below. If you want to have a go, it is all below. And then I pick from this massive TBR based on the prompts that I come out with. However, there are 3 books that will be in the description down below that I have to read anyway. The first one is a Patreon pick, which I am not going to spoil for you because this is part of a Patreon only bingo board that we read together and my patrons get a little gifted copy for being members. So that is the first book on my TBR. The second book is also a Patreon pick, but it lives in this gorgeous little pumpkin teapot. So the second book on my TBR for this month is going to be The Crucible, which was chosen by Olivia. This you can tell it's a gifted copy. The Crucible is a parable of the Salem witch hunt, but also looks at McCarthyism and kind of betrayal of one's neighbours. It's a really, really interesting and gothic read, and I really appreciate it, Olivia. Thank you for selecting this book. It is time, Olivia, to put another one in the teapot. So those are the first 2 on my TBR for this month. The third book is going to be coming out with its own little announcements video, so I'm going to leave information for that down below once it is up and ready. In the meantime, keep your lemons peeled for that. Now over to my TBR game. Now I will say I have recently moved all of my own TBR to my new home, and I was stacking them up originally in genre, and I realized that I have one genre more than anything else, and that is contemporary. I have so many contemporary books and I have just not been interested in reading them at all, like even a little bit. So I am going to be really trying really trying to read those contemporaries. Oh, let's see how I get on. Okay, first one of the year, let's go. Okay, we want contemporaries. I'll add non-fiction just because I have quite a few of those as well. We want contemporaries, we want romances. It's what is most on my own TBR. I have not ticked them off in a long time. The fact there's a gothic right there is torture because I absolutely want to pick it up, but I cannot. Thriller, mystery, middle grade. No. We've got a romance there, I can see, and another gothic. Why is it whenever I want gothics, can't find them? And I don't want gothics, they're everywhere. We are looking for literary and contemporary in January. We're going to be better people. We're going to have better opinions. We're going to read more non-fiction. Barely touched my last TBR, so we need to do better in more ways than one. Come on, we are speeding through another. Are you serious? Are you serious? Right, there's my literary contemporary. There's one. I can't resist. 3 was too many. There's too many. I couldn't resist. I love a gothic. I love a spooky. Don't you dare. Right, it's closing in. I can make it around this corner. Come on, I can do it. We can do it. Let's make it through the zigzags. We're moving quickly. Your girl's been gaming. Look at her go. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. Anything in this room. We've got, I picked up a horror by accident. Whoops. Whoopsie. Okay. Alright, she may have got a bit big for her boots. Let's try again. Let's go the opposite direction. We've got another romance. That can count. We want literaries, we want contemporaries, we want to be better people in the new year. We want to clear the TBR that we have. I genuinely didn't mean to touch that thriller, but there we go. We don't want fantasy, we want contemporary and literary. Contemporary and literary. I feel like after months of it only throwing up historical fiction, I can see one. Where are you? How do I get to you? Oh, I can't get to you that way. Right, let's go the long way around. Let's see if I can get. Oh, I can't get around that way, can I? Oh god, it's taking me forever. I just saw it. It was there. It better still be there when I get there. Come on, there's no one there. Come on. Come on. This is the longest route. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Bosh. Right, how do we get into that next room? And there's no one there. Come on. We can do this. If I set my heart on something, like a contemporary or a literary, we can do it. I can tick those books off my TBR. Yeah. Okay. We have non-fiction gods. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Romance, an independent author or publisher. Love that. Non-fiction cover by. Literary contemporary BIPOC characters. Easy. Gothic fiction cover by. horror booktuber's worst of the previous year. Don't love that. Don't love that. Romance calligraphy, thriller mystery, LGBT author, and then a seasonal read and BIPOC. So we're thinking winter because it's January. Maybe I can find a literary contemporary that's all about New Year stuff. Here's hoping. Okay, see you in a sec. So, a mixed bag, not the end of the world. We've got great prompts. I will say I am absolutely sacrificing one prompt because I'm already doing a read along this month and I'm going to be doing the 2 other Patreon books. I am not going to be reading the worst of the year horror book. The other reason I'm doing this is because I just think it's a bad prompt. I don't know why I put it in there in the first place and I can't change it. I can't take it out. So unless I'm doing a read along, I will do it if I'm not doing a read along. If I'm doing a read along each month, it's not happening. But also, all of our worst books of the year videos haven't come out yet. So I'm really having to scroll back and your girl just does not have the time. So this one is sacrificed. We are not doing that one. Which means the first book and the first prompt of 2025 is going to be Dear Martin by Nick Stone, which is a contemporary with BIPOC authors. I also have Odd One Out. I know that Nick Stone has a wide variety of BIPOC YA novels, specifically looking at black culture and how people treat black people. I bought a whole bunch of them, like I said, and I've read a couple, but I've not read many, and I need to read more. So this is the perfect time for me to pick this up. I don't know anything about Dear Martin. It's got to the point where I've had this on my TBR for so long that I don't even remember what the synopsis is, and I'm not going to read it. I'm going to go in just with an open mind and a closed perception of what it's going to be so that I can be surprised by whatever it is that comes next. Next is another BIPOC contemporary, which I know next to nothing about. I have the ARC copy of Come and Get It by Kiley Reid, who is the author who did Such a Fun Age. My reading has come on kind of like in a varied way. Since reading Such a Fun Age, I really struggled when I read it, and then it was one of those ones where after I finished it, the more I thought about it, the more I actually liked it and appreciated it. And this is for the seasonal read prompt, mainly because I have so very few wintry books. I just don't tend to do any book shopping in November and December because it leads up to Christmas, and my family would kill me if I bought books around Christmas because I have so many and that's what they like to gift me, that I don't tend to own many wintry books. So this was the closest I was going to get to like a seasonal read, with it being blue and white, but I know nothing about it. Like I said, I'm going in completely blind. This was unhauled to me from someone else who had already read it or got multiple copies of ARCs. So I'm really excited to get to this one because I feel like it's going to be very, very different reading experience to the last time I read a Kiley Reid, and I'm not mad about it. Another BIPOC pick, we have The Taking of Jake Livingston for my mystery with LGBT characters. I don't know much about this other than I'm pretty sure Jake Livingston in this book is gay. So I'm going in completely blind. I feel like I've got a couple of prep boy books. I feel like both of these are set in a prep school, and they're both BIPOC young men in prep schools. Maybe that's a vlog waiting to happen, who knows? Working at a school again, I don't know if maybe that's going to hit a bit too close to home, but we shall find out, and maybe we'll be a better person for it. Although this is technically a horror mystery, I am reading it for thriller mystery because I have 0 thriller mysteries. I don't own any anymore. I am so... Unless you can spot one here that fits the prompt better than The Taking of Jake Livingston for LGBT characters, let me know, because I'm prioritising the LGBT over the thriller bit, and I'm just leaning into a horror. I've also TBR'd this multiple times, but thankfully we restart that whole thing in January. So there we go. Jake Livingston, he lives another day. Or does he? Next, we have a romance with calligraphy. I will be reading Well, That Was Unexpected by Jessie Q-Santanto. This is the same person who wrote I'm Not Done With You Yet, which is a thriller mystery, and also the Dial A for Aunties trilogy that I absolutely adore. I absolutely could have picked up another Dial A for Aunties book in a heartbeat, but it didn't have calligraphy on it, whereas this is written like it was handwritten. As far as I'm aware, this is a case of matchmaking gone awry, but not really, where someone kind of bumps into someone and they maybe fake date. I don't know. I just know that it's a romance. I know that it's gonna be gentle, and I know it's YA. I also know This is one of the books that I bought in Canterbury 2 years ago to treat myself, and then someone put their coffee cup in my tote bag and spoilt this book, along with a couple of other books. Now, if you watched my Pride and Prejudice video, you will know that I am devastated that the other Bennet sister has even more coffee staining on it than this one does. This upsets me. Do not put your coffee cups in someone's tote bag. Just put it in the bin. Like, at some point between me walking from, and I literally walked from Waterstones to my car, someone put a coffee cup in my tote bag. Just, to this day, rage to this day. Next, we have Alexis Henderson's An Academy for Liars. This is for the Gothic cover by prompt. Now, I did not technically buy this for the cover. This was one of the 𝚤𝚤𝚏 Evernight books, and is an Evernight exclusive with the sprayed edge and the beautiful foiling and blah 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 blah. The reason I'm including it as this prompt, and again it is a stretch, is I am not a massive fan of Alexis Henderson's writing style. I have tried 2 of her books and just not vibed with them. The only reason I have kept this is because the cover and the duality world and the idea of it being a spooky Gothic magic school is enough to keep it on my shelves. So we're going to give it a go. And we're not going to be too surprised if this one doesn't survive January, because it is on there purely for how pretty it is. Then we have a contemporary with BIPOC characters, and I will be picking up Felix Ever After by Ksing Calendar. I know, I've owned it for years, I've had it for years, it has been a booktube darling for years, and I've not read it yet, and I'm so very sorry. I'm reading it now, okay? January is the year, we're here, we're gonna do it. I think you can see that in my head it was gonna be, we're here, we're queer, get used to it, and then for some reason I didn't. But we are here and we're ready. We're ready to read it. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Another cover buy was a non-fiction cover buy. Now, I've only recently had this returned from my father, who didn't read it but wanted to. Richard Ayoade's The Grip of Film, which is a non-fiction book all about film, because he is a director, writer and actor and comedian, and just generally funny guy. I adore this cover. I feel the 80s punk rock vibes, the kind of Die Hard 80s movie. Do you know what I mean? It's a whole vibe. I don't know enough about film to really kind of like fully go into that, but I feel like this is a whole vibe, and it's written in like really small parts. There's like script parts. It's kind of mixed media, but this was absolutely a cover buy. I saw this whole vibe and was like, I need it on my shelf. I need to know more about film. Colour me intrigued. Then we had romance by an indie author. I have gone for Straight On Till Dawn by KJ Sutton. You can tell this is an indie book. I mean, just look at that. Phenomenal. I have still not read anything by KJ Sutton, because every time I go to pick up Fortuna Sworn, of which I have very pretty, they're right here, very pretty hardbacks, I end up having something happen in my life that means that I just don't read. So I'm trying different. We're trying different. This was gifted to me last Christmas, so a year ago, by Becca from Becca Books. So thank you very much, Becca. Really, really excited for this one. But she is chunky. Hopefully she's an easy read. The writing is nice and big. So potentially first book of the year. I do like starting with one that is a guaranteed 5 stars. And I feel like if Becca's recommending it, it should be. But then also it is a Peter Pan retelling, and I'm notoriously really bad with Peter Pan retellings. So we'll see. And then last but by no means least, we had a non-fiction which included gods. I have gone for Chinese fairy tales and legends. I'm hoping this had gods in it, purely because I could not find, I have somewhere just a non-fiction book about mythology, which I know has gods in it, but this on the back says that it has fearless heroes, feisty princesses, sly magicians, terrifying dragons, talking foxes, and miniature dogs, all featuring an enthralling compendium of Chinese fairy tales, legends, along with an array of equally colourful characters and captivating plots. Think Grimm's Fairy Tales or Arabian Nights. So I'm hoping at some point in this Chinese folklore there will be a Chinese god and or deity that I can stumble across and learn more about. This is such a pretty book. And again, one of the oldest books I've had on my TBR. I think I got this in my very, very early days of being a booktuber, and I need to read it. So there we have it. What I would argue is a very respectable and somewhat small for me, normally, TBR, with a variety of LGBT and BIPOC books. Thrilled. Let me know in the comments down below, which book of these do you think will be a guaranteed 5 stars for me? Because I love starting the year with a 5 stars. In fact, every year, my first read has been a 5 stars. So I need to guarantee it. And what book will you be starting the 2025 year with? Treat yourself from something from Waypoint because it supports me and my content. Check all the links out down below. I've got a variety of different socials, and I also have my bookshop, obviously, but a Patreon as well where you can support me. And most importantly, have a nice day and Happy New Year.